Best there is, best there was, best there ever will be.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to race number 3 of Season 2 NASCAR Walmart Cup Series. Hi, I'm Levi McIntyre, aka ThrashManiac99, the voice of NASCAR Walmart Cup Series, here to welcome you to the Vegas Vacation 400 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Now, this is the 1.5-mile track that we ran last season, and this race is going to be rather interesting because last season we had a pretty good amount of wrecks, but we'll see how it's going to play out this season with newer drivers, different cars, and a different surface to Las Vegas. But anyways, with that being said, let's take a look at your starting lineup. Starting on the pole is going to be the driver who comes into this race in 23rd in points and 12th in the rookie points, and that is Alex Pedro in the number 10 car. Starting next to him is going to be the driver who comes into this race in the 17th position in points, and that is Eric Burton. Third is going to be one of those drivers who has struggled at the start of this season, who you didn't really expect to struggle, and he comes into this race 39th in points, Austin Weiner. Fourth is going to be the driver who's 32nd in points, Rue McIntyre. And then rounding out the top 5 is the driver who is second in points and leading the rookie points, Gabe Williams. Starting 6th is going to be defending Series 1 or Season 1 champion, but she comes in 41st in points, so she has been not up to a very good start to this season, but maybe that luck will turn around today for Jessica Shelton. Starting 7th is going to be the driver who won the Daytona 500 and comes into this race 5th in points, Kyle Matthews. 8th is going to be the driver who comes into this race, I believe, 29th in points, Barney Taylor. 9th is going to be Chris Washer, who comes into this race 26 in points. And then rounding out the top 10 is 11th in points and 6th in the rookie standings, Sam Young. Now let's take a look at the rest of the field. We've got Charles Jackson, Preston Plord, Ryan Anderson Jr., Sonny Hammond, Hunter Bell, Brody Talley, Alex Hawkins, David Rivera, Trent Dunham, Mason Bromer, Zachary Fitzwater, Matt McIntyre, Austin Talley, Theo Stegall, Jekko Knight, Dylan Young, last week's winner at Rockingham, UK. Then Chase Oliver, Joshua Collard, Dylan Thero, Henrietta Fitzwater, Betty Johnson, Michael Norman, Parker Wright, Justin Talampaz, Ken Thero, Tommy Mooney, Cody Lamas, Danny Wells, P.J. Williams, Annie Thomas as the top 40. Rounding out the field is Seth Cole and Ian Dutta. That is a look at your starting lineup here for Vegas. We are now getting ready to go racing. Excuse me. It's going to be interesting to see how these drivers are going to fare at a newly repaved Las Vegas. And it's different cars than what they are accustomed to. Slightly different, I should say. But this should be one intense race, no doubt about it. But Alex Pedro is your pole sitter for this race. And they are getting ready to come down to the green. Here we go. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys and girls. Alex Pedro gets off to a good start, but now Austin Weiner's going to move underneath Eric Burden for second, and he's going to get second. Right behind him is rookie leader in the rookie points and second in overall points, Gabe Williams. Meanwhile, Alex Pedro continues to lead the way here. And we are still green. Oh, Pedro bounced off the wall, but will he lead the lap? Barely over Austin Weiner. And now here comes Austin Weiner to the inside. He's in desperate need for a good run. And oh, did Pedro get pushed up to the wall? No, he keeps it together. But now Austin Weiner's got the lead. And it's a pretty big lead. And now Chris Washer all of a sudden has come up here to the second spot with Charles Jackson right next to him as we are still green. Oh, Washer bounced off the wall. I guess with how much faster, and the caution flag is out. Who was in this? Oh, we got a big wreck up ahead. I see Michael Norman, Dylan Thero, Tommy Mooney. Oh, he's upside down. Trent Dunham. Oh, and there's another car upside down. Who is that? I think that's Jekko Knight. Ian Dutta's got damage. Annie Thomas has got big time damage. Henrietta Fitzwater was involved. See, Jessica Sheldon's got some side damage. That could be just from her bouncing off the wall. Gabe Williams is all of a sudden back here, and he was in the top 5 at the time. Drivers are coming down pit road, but some are electing to stay out. Zachary Fitzwater was involved. Seth Cole was involved. And I see Justin Talampas was involved. Anybody else? There's Zachary Fitzwater. Ken Thera, I should have said, is the 9 car. I apologize. There's Jekko Knight. Matt McIntyre was involved. Was Rue McIntyre involved? No, he bounced off the wall. But Danny Wells, once again, for the second week in a row, maybe even, yeah, second week in a row, he runs into trouble. Tough. This is almost reminiscent to what happened to him at the beginning of last season, where in the beginning of the season, he struggled, and it's starting to look the same way this season for him. Parker Wright's on pit road. Mason Bromer was involved in that wreck. Joshua Collard, who was involved. P.J. Williams. I saw Dylan Young get a slight piece of it. Betty Johnson's got rear end damage. But it looks like Hunter Bell, who he and Ryan Anderson Jr., Kyle Matthews, Alex Hawkins, Barney Taylor, Brody Talley, and Austin Talley all elected to stay out. But Hunter Bell is the leader. Let's take a look and see what brought the caution out for the first time here at Las Vegas. Here's a look at it. It's going to start when these guys are about to go 4 wide. Zachary Fitzwater forces Jessica Sheldon up into the wall, and they are almost 4 wide, relatively almost 5 wide. And there you see Zachary got turned because he came up right in front of Sheldon, and then David Rivera gets a big piece of it. And then everybody's trying to slow down, try to get through, and they all just piled into this mess. And look at that. Wow, Justin Talampas got clobbered. Oh my God, we had several cars who went upside down. And look at Talampas. He's just barrel rolling down the front stretch. Holy cow. We had, I think I saw at least 4 or 5, maybe 6 cars get up in the air or flipped over. This was just a massive pile up. As there you see, Talampas gets hit from behind by Preston Ford, and wow, he landed right on top of David Rivera. And there you see P.J. Williams, Matt McIntyre went upside down. They went back on their wheels, although P.J. Williams still on his roof, but right there, he gets hit from Talampas, and he just flipped over. Wow, Trent Dunham and Jekko Knight went upside down. Annie Thomas got airborne for a second. So many cars just piled into this mess. Look at all this mess. From that hit from Preston Ford caused all of that flipping to go down. As there you see Trent Dunham, Jekko Knight. Let's see how those guys get flipping. They're already spinning, and then they just continue to pile in. Right there, a hit from P.J. Williams and Tommy Mooney got them upside down. Tommy Mooney upside down. Trent Dunham only flipped over once, but he got on the wheels, and Checo Knight was still stuck on his roof. There you see Tommy Mooney just stayed stuck on his roof. I think he went over a few times. We're going to go through quite a lot of onboards here, but this is just absolute madness. Let's see what happens to Matt McIntyre, how he gets flipping. He gets hit by P.J. Williams, and then when Danny Wells came in, he just shoved P.J. into the 98, and they both went upside down. Man, so many cars went upside down or flipped in this wreck. Let me go to the helicopter camera and see how many were airborne upside down. There was, okay, there you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 cars went airborne or flipped. That is absolutely insane. There was at least 20 cars involved in this accident. This was a massive pileup. The only other wreck I can really think of that had as big of a pileup of this was the race last season at Joe Gibbs International Raceway, where there was a little over 20 cars involved. That is the closest I can remember to something like this, but everybody, like I said, just piled in. Dylan Young did get a piece of it. He did go spinning. But man, look at all the cars, and then look at Talampaz just barrel rolling down the front stretch. Let's actually go to the 78 and see how many times he goes flipping, because he takes a wild ride. Right there, he gets hit from Lamas, and then right there to hit from Plord, over top of a lot of cars, and then on top of Rivera. And then right there, he gets off him, he's going to flip over. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see. 8. Looks like about 8 times. Yeah, he barreled 8 times in that incident. That is just, holy cow. Let's check the 48 of Tommy Mooney as he's just about to enter this mess. Right into Ken Thero, into Trent Dunham. And then when Preston Plord came flying in, that's what got the 48 upside down and flipping. And he turns over right there one time. Then he gets hit from Michael Norman and then from both Collard and Wright. And that got him back on his roof, so he flipped over 1.5 times. Trent Dunham flipped over once. Checo Knight took a half a flip, and he was still upside down. Check the 98 as he had to teleport to pit road. How many times does he flip? It looks like he turns over only once. P.J. Williams, he's going to go upside down, and he's just going to ride the front stretch on his roof. We're going to go through several onboards here. We're going to go on board with the 78, the 98, the 27, the 31, the 42, the 48, the 38, and the 1. On board with Matt McIntyre, who was running in 26 at the time. There you see the wreck happens right there. Now watch this. Everybody just piling in. There you see Talampaz just flipping, and then P.J. Williams up ahead. He went the entire, almost a little over half the front straightaway upside down. On board with Tommy Mooney. Wow. What a sight to see when Talampaz just came flying in that. On board with P.J. Williams, who was running in 34th at the time. Man, oh man. And then the camera goes out as he continues to ride the front stretch on his roof, and then finally comes to rest. On board with Danny Wells, who was running in 40th at the time. We see the wreck is happening up ahead. And watch this hit he's going to get to his teammate. Right into both him and Andy Thomas. And then his car immediately died right there. On board with Jekko Knight, who is running in 17th at the time. Right there's where the wreck starts. And then watch this. Wow, man, Talampas just flew in high in that, and then he goes upside down, and he stayed like that. On board with Trent Dunham, who was running right behind Jekko Knight when this happened. Oh my god! Talampas just flew in over top and he hit him right in the windshield. Holy crap. On board with Preston Ford, who is in 27th. This is going to be wild. Right there in the Talampas, and wow, he went over top of a couple cars. Oh my god. Finally on board with Justin Talampas, who is running in 39th. This is going to be insane. And it's a wonder that camera was able to stay alive. But man, that was a massive, massive crash, and we're going to have a lot of retirees after this. But that was a look at the caution as well as the onboards. We will now take you to the restart. Well, updated list of drivers out of the race are Dylan Thero, PJ Williams, Annie Thomas, Matt McIntyre, Danny Wells, Justin Talampas, Preston Plord, David Rivera, Jekko Knight, Michael Norman, Trent Dunham, Tommy Mooney, Ken Thero, Seth Cole, and Zachary Fitzwater. That gives us only 27 cars left on the track. Hunter Bell decided to stay out. He is the leader. Then Ryan Anderson Jr., Kyle Matthews, Alex Hawkins, and Barney Taylor. Then it's Brody Talley and Austin Talley, and those are the drivers who stayed out. Everybody else pitted. 8th will be Austin Weiner, 9th Charles Jackson, 10th Eric Burton. Then it's Alex Pedro, Sonny Hammond, Chris Washer, Gabe Williams, Henrietta Fitzwater, Betty Johnson, Rue McIntyre, Dylan Young, Jessica Sheldon, Parker Wright, Chase Oliver, Joshua Collard still is on the track, Ian Dutta, Sam Young, Cody Lamas, Theo Stegall, and Mason Bromer. 27 cars left on the field, and we're not even at the halfway point yet. We are still just in the single-digit laps. But let's see how these drivers who stayed out are going to fare against the people who pitted. The first 7 stayed out, but here we go. We're back underway. Green flag is back out. Hunter Bell is your leader. First car I see step out of line is Barney Taylor. He's going to go to the inside of Alex Hawkins for 4th, I should say. And now here comes Ryan Anderson Jr., who's running right behind Hunter Bell. Now he's going to go to the inside. Ryan Anderson Jr. had a very good car. Oh, Hunter Bell gets into him. Then, oh my goodness, how did they save that? And Ryan Anderson Jr. is going to get the lead. Unbelievable. But now he's going to get bypassed by Barney Taylor for the lead. But man, how did he and Hunter Bell save it? They both bounced off the wall and nearly spun it out, and they save it and are still running in the top 5. That's just a byproduct of these drivers bouncing off the wall like you saw Anderson do again. Did he go through the grass? And is the caution out? Yeah, the caution is out, and we have a few drivers getting involved. Theo Stegall, Mason Bromer's involved. Ryan Anderson Jr. is on pit road. I think he just couldn't get out of the way, and I think he went in the pit road. Parker Wright was involved. Chase Oliver was involved. Doesn't look to be as bad of a wreck as we had earlier. Chris Washer all of a sudden is going into pit road. Charles Jackson, I think he bounced off the wall. But after all that, Barney Taylor is your leader. Let's take a look at a replay and see what brought the caution for the second time here at Las Vegas. Well, here's a look at it. It's going to turn into a three-wide battle for the 9th spot between Dylan Young, Sonny Hammond, Austin Talley. Sonny Hammond's car got really tight, and he got up into Austin Talley. They both go in the wall, then Charles Jackson gets involved. Eric Burden got a little piece of it. I think Chris Washer got into it, and then Sam Young up there along with Sonny Hammond. Parker Wright back here is involved. Joshua Collard got into Betty Johnson, Cody Lamas, and then Chase Oliver, Mason Bromer, and Theo Stegall all just kind of piled into that. But we need to go and take a look at the Chris Washer machine. Does he go up into the wall? I think he does, because this is when I believe Eric came down after getting clipped by Talley, and oh man, he took a hard hit into the outside wall. So too did Eric Burton. And then, where is Ryan Anderson Jr.? I saw him. Oh, wait a minute. I think whenever he was trying to avoid... Yeah, let's take a look at this with the 51. This is kind of what's going to kind of start the squabble going on. He was up here around the 4th spot. He slides up into the wall. Oh, Kyle Matthews nearly spun. I think when Ryan was trying to save it, he couldn't get it going, and then he just goes for a little spin in the grass, and then he goes in the pit road, and I think because he got in the pit road, it teleported him into his pit stall, and that's what happened to the 51. That's a tough break for the 51. Hopefully he'll be able to stay on the lead lap, but that is a tough break for the 51. And then Kyle Matthews, he kept it straight, but he nearly spun that car. Let's watch the 5. As he's going to go up into the wall. Let's see what happens with this. Yeah, he gets the wall and he is sideways. How did he not spin that car out? He kept it together, but he's going to lose a few spots. But behind them back here is where they're going to start wrecking. As there you see Sam Young, Betty Johnson, Cody Lamas, Chase Oliver, Mason Bromer, Theo Stegall, Sam Young, Joshua Collard. But that was a look at what brought the caution. It wasn't as bad of a wreck as we had at the beginning of the race, but it was still enough to bring out a caution. But let's now take you to the restart. Well, Chris Washer may be the first car in line, but he's on the tail end of the lead lap. Cars out of the race after that incident are Mason Bromer, Ryan Anderson Jr., I believe he's still on track. Chase Oliver may be still on track. Sonny Hammond, yeah, there's Ryan Anderson coming in. Then Sonny Hammond, and then Parker Wright and Theo Stegall. They join everybody else. But Barney Taylor is your leader. Second is Dylan Young. Third, Gabe Williams. Fourth, Alex Pedro. Fifth is Jessica Shelton. Then it's Rue McIntyre. Henrietta Fitzwater. Both of the cars that have the Golden Corral paint schemes are running up here. Funny. Then Ian Dutta, even with a little crunch on his hood, he's still running. Ninth, Joshua Collard with a torn up car. He's in the top 10. And Cody Lamas is actually still continuing even after getting in that incident. He's in 10th. Then it's Alex Hawkins, Austin Weiner, Betty Johnson, Hunter Bell, Brody Talley, Kyle Matthews, Eric Burton, Charles Jackson, Sam Young, Austin Talley, and then Chris Washer. And on the inside is Ryan Anderson Jr. So I do believe Chase Oliver is out because I don't see him anywhere. But let's see what's going to happen with this, as it's going to be double wide in front of Barney Taylor with two cars, one who's 2 laps down, one that's on the tail end. But here we go. Green flag is out, and already Dylan Young is going to the inside to try to get the lead, and he's going to get the lead. And Barney Taylor's getting held up by Chris Washer because Washer isn't up to speed. Oh man, I see 3 wide back here, or at least I thought, but oh man, I don't like the looks of this. What's gonna happen? Oh no! Wow. I don't think anybody hit the wall or wrecked, but now here comes Gabe Williams. He's to the lead, and now they're gonna try to put Ryan Anderson Jr. again 2 laps down. And now here comes Alex Pedro, the pole sitter, coming back. 2 rookies battling for the lead here, Gabe Williams and Alex Pedro. And then behind this, we've got a battle for third between Dylan Young and Rue McIntyre. And Rue McIntyre's going to get the spot, and the caution flag is back out after we had a green flag lap. Who was in this? Brody Talley's back here. Betty Johnson's running in the back. I believe it might just be for a solo car spin involving Brody Talley, it looks like. Betty Johnson, they're just still running back here, but that is our leader, Alex Pedro, the pole sitter, and he finally led a lap. But now these guys are going to come down pit road, so we'll keep an eye out on this, see who's going to come out of the pits first. Alright, we're actually going to go to the Nun cam and then to the pit lane cam to see who's going to come out first. Couple cars are actually staying out. I can't really tell. I think one of them may be Alex Hawkins. We'll see the car when it comes around. It is Alex Hawkins and Henrietta Fitzwater. They stay out. So they're going to be restarting in the lead at second place. But who's going to come out of the pits first is the question. It looks like Alex Pedro will, then Rue McIntyre, then Dylan Young, then Hunter Bell, Ryan Anderson Jr. still 2 laps down, then Kyle Matthews, Ian Dutta, Cody Lamas, Sam Young all of a sudden is out of the pits now. Great stop for Sam Young. And is that Austin Weiner who's coming out right there? I believe it is. He must have went with 4 tires. Because I saw a lot of guys take either fuel only or 2 tires, but after all of that, Alex Hawkins will be your leader with Henrietta Fitzwater in second. Those 2 elected to stay out. Let's take a look at a replay to see what brought the caution out for the 3rd time today here at Las Vegas. Here's a look at it. These guys are attempting 4 wide. Lamas, Johnson, Talley, and Burton. It looks like Talley comes up in the Betty Johnson, and that forces the 20 to go spinning. Betty Johnson did get the wall. She got into the wall pretty hard, but luckily for this, we got away with just a solo car spin from a situation where they were trying to go 4 wide, and it didn't work. But luckily for Brody Talley, he doesn't hit anything on the inside wall, and he's going to continue. So that is a look at what brought the caution for the 3rd time. Let's go to the restart. Well, after that incident, I believe no cars are out, and Chris Washer and Ryan Anderson Jr. still on track, still a lap or 2 down. But Alex Hawkins decided to stay out, and he's your leader. And then the only other car to stay out with him is second place, Henrietta Fitzwater. Then everybody else behind them pitted. Alex Pedro in 3rd, 4th Rue McIntyre, 5th Dylan Young, 6th Hunter Bell, 7th Kyle Matthews, 8th Ian Dutta, 9th Cody Lamas, 10th is Sam Young, 11th is Charles Jackson, 12th Austin Talley, 13th Barney Taylor, 14th Joshua Collard, 15th Eric Burton, 16th Jessica Sheldon, 17th Gabe Williams, 18th Austin Weiner, 19th Brody Talley. Rounding out the field on the lead lap is Betty Johnson. And then there you see Ryan Anderson Jr. and Chris Washer, who are a lap or 2 down. So we only have 22 cars left on the track, and that's little more than half the field that is left, especially after that first incident that took place on lap 1 or 2, if I can recall. But Alex Hawkins is going to be your leader. Let's see what's going to happen with this restart, especially with Chris Washer, as he's not up to speed. Here we go, green is out, and Alex Hawkins gets a good jump, and now Rue McIntyre is going to get held up. behind the 24 of Chris Washer. We need to keep an eye out on the 24 because he is not up to speed, and he probably couldn't have been after he took that hard hit into the outside wall. He's holding up Rue McIntyre and Kyle Matthews. They need to get to the bottom or something to get around this 24 car, otherwise. And now more cars are getting held up. Now they're going to outroute. Now Washer's going to finally let people go. And do we have another incident taking place? Oh, Dylan Young actually spun, but I think he's going to save it. I don't think the caution's going to come out, but let's check the lights, and we are still green. Oh, no, don't go 4 wide again. Please don't go 4 wide. Okay, it's still 3 wide, which is still not very good considering what happens. Oh, no, they are 4 wide. Oh, my goodness, and Washer's up into the wall, but they are still straight. But now Washer's going to spin. Ian Dutta was involved. Is the caution out now? No, we are still green. I think because Washer ended up going in the pit road, if I can see. No, he's still on track. But I don't think a caution is out. No, the caution is not out. Gabe Williams got a piece of that. So too did Collard. And now we have a wreck up ahead. Dylan Young is spinning. Oh, man, don't get up in front of anybody. Oh, man. But that's going to be enough to bring out the caution flag. Oh, Ian Dutta, don't hit the 2. Don't hit... Okay, thank God. That could have been horrible if the 18 hit the 2 car, but... one spin. That is twice I think I saw Dylan Young go around. I think Ryan Anderson Jr. managed to get around the leader. No, actually, Alex Hawkins is still the leader. I thought Hawkins got bypassed, but... Alex Hawkins is your leader. Let's take a look at a replay to see what brought out the caution for the 4th time today here at Vegas. Well, here's the start of it. I knew this was going to get bad when Washer was up here, but you add in it being possibly 4 wide. Ian Dutta gets up in the Gabe Williams, in the Washer. They managed to keep it straight, and then Dutta turns the 24 around. I guess Dutta was sending a message to Chris Washer and tell him, hey, you should not be out here on the track. You're holding up drivers. That's what I would think the message was being sent by Ian Dutta. Now, let's rewind and take a look at Dylan Young, because I thought I saw him get wobbly on the front stretch. Oh, yes, and he was actually battling for second with Alex Pedro. He gets into the wall, and then Dylan Young goes up, and then he's going to go sideways into the grass, and he's going to keep it together. But that Chris Washer incident wasn't what brought out the caution. We're going to fast forward because Dylan Young was actually what brought out the caution. Let's take a look. As he's running in the, he was running in the top 10 at the time. I think he still is. But let's see what happens with the 2. He just bounces on, hits the wall, and then he does the same thing, except he does go spinning this time. But luckily, I'm shocked that some of these drivers managed to get by that car. I thought he was going to get hit for sure, but a solo car spin is what brought the caution out. You would think after the Chris Washer incident, the caution would have been brought out, but it apparently wasn't enough for the caution to be flown, and I guess because Dylan Young was still on the track, and a lot of cars were around him, it was enough to throw the caution out. But that was a look at the caution. Let's take you to the restart. Well, everybody came down pit road, and Alex Hawkins is still your leader. Nobody has been out of the race in quite a while, which is a good thing. But Alex Hawkins is your leader. Second is Alex Pedro. Third is Rue McIntyre. Fourth is Eric Burton. And then fifth is Austin Talley. 6th is Henrietta Fitzwater. 7th, Cody Lamas. 8th, Kyle Matthews. 9th, Sam Young. Rounding out the top 10 is Austin Weiner. Then it's Charles Jackson, 11th. 12th, Hunter Bell. 13th is Barney Taylor. 14th, Brody Talley. 15th is going to be Betty Johnson. 16th, Jessica Shelton. 17th, Gabe Williams. 18th, Joshua Collard. 19th, Ian Dutta. Rounding out the top 20 and the lead lap cars is Dylan Young. And then the two cars starting on the inside of the leader and second place, who are still a lap or two down, are Ryan Anderson Jr. and Chris Washer. But for the most part, with these drivers up here at the front, we may be guaranteed a first-time winner. The closest person who won a race last season that's up here is Cody Lamas in the 7th spot, as he won last season at the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. But here we go. Let's see how this restart's going to go. Green flag is out, but I don't think we've seen the last of the cautions. Alex Hawkins didn't get quite a good enough jump like he did last time, because Ryan Anderson Jr. is still right there to his inside. Meanwhile, we have a battle for second between Rue McIntyre and Alex Pedro. And now here comes Rue McIntyre to try to go to the inside of Alex Hawkins, but he's got Ryan Anderson right in front of him. Oh man, it's going to be 3 wide. Uh-oh, this may not be good. Oh, and then we got a wreck right at the front of the field. Rue McIntyre, Alex Pedro got involved, Kyle Matthews, Alex Hawkins, and they're still spinning. Austin Talley, and old Dylan Young's going to go on his side. Oh man, and Ryan Anderson, Austin Talley. Man. Henrietta Fitzwater's smoking. Quite a bunch of drivers were involved in that. Now the lead's going to be handed over to Eric Burton. There you see, and Chris Washer's on pit road. He was involved. I knew Kyle Matthews was involved. There's Alex Hawkins and Rue McIntyre. I think everybody else managed to get by, but Alex Pedro actually did get a little piece of it, but who knows if he's going to be up to speed now. But now the lead has been handed over to Eric Burton, and it is 11 laps to go. Let's take a look at the replay to see what brought the caution for the 5th time? Yeah, 5th time here at Las Vegas. Well, here's a look at it. It's going to start right at the dead front of the field with the leaders. Rue McIntyre has a good car, and he was going to the inside of both Ryan Anderson Jr. and Alex Hawkins to make it 3 wide. But I knew that wasn't a good thing, because look at Ryan Anderson. He goes up in Alex Hawkins. They both bounce the wall and into the 28, and then the 10 gets a piece of that. So too does the 88, and then Kyle Matthews goes up and hits the 28, and then there you see more cars pile in. Alex Hawkins actually went up in the air. Gabe Williams went spinning. And then right there, Ian Dutta hits Dylan Young, and that's what got him up in the air and on his side for a second. Then Chris Washer was back here. He got involved. I think his day is finally going to be over. We're going to have a lot more retirees here now after that incident has just taken place. But Eric Burton is your leader. Let's take you to the restart. Well, the updated list of drivers out of the race after that incident are Henrietta Fitzwater, Austin Talley, Dylan Young, Ian Dutta, Chris Washer, and Ryan Anderson Jr. So that only gives us 16 cars left on the track. Eric Burton is your leader. Second is Austin Weiner. This race, he could possibly win this. We'll see, and he's got his teammate right behind him, rookie Hunter Bell, in 3rd. 4th, Alex Pedro. 5th, Cody Lamas. 6th is Sam Young. 7th, Charles Jackson. 8th, Barney Taylor. 9th, Jessica Sheldon. She's having a great day. And then Joshua Collard with a torn-up car running in the top 10 in the 10th spot. Then it's Gabe Williams in 11th, and Brody Talley 12th, 13th, Rue McIntyre, 14th, Alex Hawkins, 15th, Betty Johnson, and the last car left is Kyle Matthews. The point standings are going to get shook up big time after a lot of these cars. Some who are running in the very back in points are having good runs, like Weiner and Shelton and Cody Lamas. And then others who were up at the front in the points got into trouble, like points leader Dylan Young. But here we go. Green flag is back out. 8 laps to go. I don't think the cautions are going to be over just yet. Who knows what's going to happen now, but let's see how this battle for the lead is going to be between Eric Burden and Austin Weiner. Eric Burden has been dying to get a win finally here in the NASCAR Walmart Cup Series. But now here comes Austin Weiner to the inside to try to get the lead back. Austin Weiner's in one to get another win, get his 5th career win, and he's going to get the lead. And as the caution now, let's check the flag stand. No, we are still green flag racing. Thank goodness. There's Alex Hawkins, who's not up to speed, but 7 to go, and Austin Weiner is the leader. Eric Burden 2nd, Hunter Bell 3rd, 4th Barney Taylor, 5th Jessica Shelton. 2 Penske cars running in the top 3 at the moment, Weiner and Bell. And Burden actually just got the wall a little bit. That's going to open up room for Hunter Bell, the rookie, to get to 2nd to follow up his teammate Austin Weiner to make it Penske 1-2. And there's Austin Weiner, who came into this race 39th in the points. Struggled in the first 2 races at Daytona and Rockingham, UK. But here he is up in the front. He scraped the wall a little bit, but he's still up front, and it's 5 to go here at Vegas. Let's check the back. There you see Alex Hawkins, who is not up to speed. Alex Pedro isn't up to speed. A lot of these guys back here are not up to speed. Oh man, this might get bad right here between these 3. Between Johnson, Matthews, and Pedro. There's Brody Talley, who isn't up to speed. There's Charles Jackson. Rue McIntyre's now all of a sudden gotten himself back into the top 10. There's Jessica Shelton, Barney Taylor, Eric Burden. Oh, now we have a battle for the lead between teammates Austin Weiner and Hunter Bell. Looked like Hunter Bell was getting a line going and running down his teammate. And Eric Burden's starting to sneak his way into the battle. This is going to be an interesting battle for potentially the win. And we've been green for a while, but here we go. 3 to go here at Vegas. And it's side by side between teammates. Austin Weiner, Hunter Bell. Weiner's going to let Hunter go by. But now Weiner's got Eric Burden right behind him for the 2nd spot. Weiner's going to have to try to stay on that bottom lane if he's going to be able to get back up to his teammate for the lead. Oh, and they both bounced the wall, but that's going to leave room for Hunter Bell to pull away a little bit, and it's 2 laps to go. Meanwhile, the battle for 2nd still continues between Austin Weiner and Eric Burden. And Hunter Bell, who is a rookie this season, replacing, if I can recall, Ian Siegel was in the 22 last season, and he struggled in that car. Whoa, Austin Weiner bounced off the wall, but the white flag is out for Hunter Bell. Meanwhile, it's side by side for 2nd between Austin Weiner and Eric Burden. Meanwhile, everybody else is good to go at the moment. But I don't think anybody's going to get to the 22. Austin Weiner was getting close to getting that win, but it looks like his teammate, Hunter Bell, a rookie, he is going to be the first rookie this season to win a race. Hunter Bell wins the Vegas Vacation 400 at Las Vegas. What a great ending we had to a race. After that last caution, we went green the rest of the way. Gray racing up at the front. But congratulations to rookie Hunter Bell to get the first win of his season, of his career, and also the first time ever that 22 car here in NASCAR Walmart Cup Series has gone to victory lane. Great job for Hunter Bell. Let's take a look at your results. Hunter Bell is going to get his first win of his season and his career here in the NASCAR Walmart Cup Series. And with that win, he has entered himself into the All-Star race coming up later. Same for Dylan Young and Kyle Matthews. But congratulations to Hunter Bell. Great finish for him. And then right behind him, his teammate, Austin Weiner. Penske 1-2 here at Vegas With Hunter Bell winning, Austin Weiner second. Great run for Austin Weiner. He needed to have a good run to get himself higher in the points. Eric Burton, so close again to picking up that win that has been long eluding him for his entire NASCAR Walmart Cup Series career. But he's going to come away with third. This could boost him up really high up into the points. Fourth, Barney Taylor, great run for him. And Jessica Sheldon, who came into this race 41st in the points, she's going to come away with a fifth place finish, and she desperately needed a good run, and she got it here today at Vegas. Great run for her. Rue McIntyre gets his highest finish of the season of 6th today, even after getting in that incident with Alex Hawkins and Alex Pedro, among others. He managed to drive his car back up into the top 10, and he was 14th, I believe, on that final restart, and he surpassed everybody and got up to the 6th spot. 7th, Charles Jackson, great run for him. Sam Young, who was involved in that big wreck at the beginning of the race, he's going to come away with an 8th place finish. Cody Lamas, who came into this race dead last in the points, he's going to get a 9th place finish, and he was also in that first incident. And then rounding out the top 10 is Gabe Williams. If the points went his way, we could be looking at the new points leader in Gabe Williams after Dylan Young had his troubles. But then the rest of the cars who finished were Joshua Collard, Brody Talley, Kyle Matthews, Betty Johnson, Alex Pedro, and Alex Hawkins. Everybody else behind them finished out of the race. Henrietta Fitzwater, Austin Talley, Dylan Young, Ian Dutta, Chris Washer, Ryan Anderson Jr., Mason Bromer, Chase Oliver, Sonny Hammond, Parker Wright, Theo Stegall, Dylan Thero, PJ Williams, Annie Thomas, Matt McIntyre, Danny Wells, Justin Talampaz, Preston Plord, David Rivera, Jecko Knight, Michael Norman, Trent Dunham, Tommy Mooney, Ken Thero, Seth Cole, and Zachary Fitzwater. That is a look at your results. We're going to show you the results again, as well as the updated point standings and rookie point standings. And the next stop we have on the schedule, I really need to put notes of the schedule, but the next race we are running is Atlanta, and that's going to be exciting. But thank you guys for tuning in to the Vegas Vacation 400 at Las Vegas. Next stop is Atlanta, but here's your results, rookie points, and point standings. But until next race, so long, everybody.